All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Kids on the Slope, episode 2.
All right, this show's really good. I'm really excited.
I'm ready.
To have
Caleb.
Some good Sentaro and Kaoru relationship stuff, and just them getting together. And then, of course, Mukai or Ritsuko getting involved with them as well.
That's
and then,
right.
Mukai's father as well, maybe teaching them some things. And getting a band of sorts, you know, with
that would be awesome.
Giving us hints of.
But most importantly, there's a family that's here, right? And it's a family that might not be bound by blood, but you know that's what's most important because as
family, man.
Yep. Because as it turns out, actual family can really suck ass.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay. Piano time.
濁った和音、シンコペーションと独特のアクセント。ジャズの特徴を頭では理解したつもりでも、再現するのは至難の技。
Wow, yeah.
So it might not
it's
be
not something that
can
be fully reproduced. Yeah,
right.
Everyone brings their own unique flair to it, you know. You gotta bring your own spin to it, buddy.
Yeah.
Way to go, buddy. Oh, he notices. Ah.
Yeah.
He's not wasting his time on the slope anymore.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Wait.
Wow. Wow.
Ah, there you go. That's where the competition's coming from.
Oh, shit.
Alright.
Yeah. You need to come kick some asses.
Yep. And
ah! Yeah! Ashigakita! Ow.
Yeah, those are a lot of steps.
Hey, did I kill you? Oh, didn't tell
even
him.
know.
Didn't tell him.
Oh!
Come on, get the other one. Nice. Yeah. Oh!
Okay.
Oh, shit! Calm down, dude.
Oh, he's gonna join in? Alright.
They're a lot bigger than you, dude.
And then... Oh! I mean, that works too.
So much.
Yes.
Disorient
them and then run like hell.
It's a chase! Oh my god. Bite him, yeah!
Alright.
Oh. I would like to make an offering. One idiot, please. He doesn't recognize him probably because he's missing his neck. He literally did the neck chop in it.
You fixed my shoulder. God damn it!
Yeah. Oh.
Ah, the other character?
Ah, yeah. The cool guy.
Right, exactly. This voice.
Yeah.
おいの友達。
ああ、これよか。デコボココンビだな。
おう。
友達って。
Whatever. Shut up.
Sure.
純兄ちゃんは隣の家のお兄ちゃんよ。
Okay,
今
gotcha.
東京の大学に。
Ah, so he got out of the small town. Gotcha.
父さん
For just one
いつも
tune.
1曲分って言ってん2時間くらい出てこんたい。
今日は久々に純一も来とるし。
Oh, so he gets to play with him.
始めるばい。
The four? The four of you? Oh, here we go.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
無理無理。鳴らすだけだ。鳴らすだけ。
He's like, where's the structure? What do I do? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And now the whole thing's changing. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Look at that smile.
He's just having fun, yeah.
ジャズ歴2週間って、これ驚いたな。かなりはちゃめちゃやったけど、雰囲気出とったぞ。
Yeah, really good at piano. But, yeah.
どんどん練習せんか。
How about it?
言われ
How
る
about
毎
it?
日来るもんな。
Haha!
じゃあ、おいはバイトのあるけん、そろそろ帰るばい。
あのさ、りっちゃんはさ、休みの日とか
Yeah,
どうしてるの？
we can hang out.
もうすぐ夏休みだし、
Sure. Yeah.
今度の日
Yeah,
曜
you're the top of your class and
11
Right.
時くらいから出ようか。
いいよ、もちろん。
そうだ、あそこで待ち合わせしよう。
Okay.
教会の裏。
去年までは一人っきりの部
But
屋
now you get to spend it with
で
people.
待っていた夏休み。
Oh, this is gonna be so sweet.
Okay.
いろんなことが楽しみすぎて頭が追いつかないや。そっか。
What if she sings?
日曜日の教会って
She totally sings. Watch, watch.
りっちゃん、
Oh, that's her?
クリスチャンだったのか。
Yeah, she's very traditional. What's that
Yeah.
like?
Some kind of veil or something?
Oh.
カオルさん、ごめんね、待たせて。
うん。それじゃあ、
行くか。
Ah!
He looks like Luffy.
これで図書館に行くのか。
Nope, we're not going to the library. We lied.
というか、なんでこいつが一緒なの？
I mean, why not?
I love that he's standing up and not using the handrails at the top or on the side.
りっちゃん、俺はデートのつもりで誘った
Is he
の。
saying that
Oh,
out
this could
loud?
be even better, dude.
船ば借りてきたぞ。
Oh my god!
乗
Yeah.
れ。一口くれ。一口。
Yeah, 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 bro. Hit me, hit me. Ah.
なんやその顔は。ちったこぎてばねぎらんか。
センタロ、これ食べてよかよ。
No, it's fine.
あ、
It-
ダメだよ。
oh my
なん
god.
で？
いや、
Is he good?
分かったよ。
So
Oh my
then,
God.
there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
一口一口。
Ah, yes, I'm very familiar with that one.
Oh, yeah, it's a crucifix, yeah.
普段ああいう十字架下げてるの？
ロザリオは持ってるけど、
Okay, like
普
they're,
通
they're
は
like
首に
Catholic.
かけたりす
Okay.
るもんじゃなかとよ。でも神父様はセンタロウだけは特別って。
リッコ、
Oh.
いらんこと喋らんでよか。
Ah, yes!
泳がんと？
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
now I have to.
おい。
Yeah.
もう早く飛び込め。
Jump in, man.
なんば恥ずかしがりよっとか。洗濯板のくせに。
Wow.
せーの。
Ah!
りっちゃん、りっちゃん。
ボンもい。
Yes,
And
of course
go,
he's wearing
tidy
tidy
whities.
whities. Yeah.
Yes.
センタロウお兄。
And then
This ogre's
Cannonball.
jumping
気
in.
持ちよかろうが。
あいつ本当にひどいな。
ねえ、カオルさん、
え
なんでぐるぐる回るよと？
俺顔を上げとくには
Oh my god,
このやり方しか知らなくてさ
カオルさん面白か
笑った、なんでこの子が笑うとこんなに嬉しいんだろう、この笑顔のためなら
Calm down, dude.
だってできそうな気がする。
I'm gone, man. Solid gone.
楽しそうやんか。おいも混ぜろ。
やだね、りっちゃん逃げよう。
Oh.
もういっそのこと、このまま君を連れ去ってしまいたいよ。変われよ。
は
ここから俺がこぐ。
It's not.
結構
Yeah, it's not easy. No.
いいから。
Yep.
いや、こういうのは力じゃない、要領だ。
Leverage.
掴めそうなんだ。
別によかばってん。
But we're.
さっきから
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not taking us anywhere.
おお、見事に違うとこについてくるな。
大丈夫よ。もう日も沈むし、貸し船屋さんに言うて取りに来てもらおう。
なあ、ちょっと。
Uh,
そうで、お嬢さん。そうがん、ツンツンせんでよかやっか。
new bullies. Time to.
なんも悪かことせんって。おい、嫌がりより
They look smaller though.
手羽離さんか。はあ
Your mitts.
お
Yeah.
前かっこ
Oh, wait. This guy knows him. The
いいわ
monster.
しこってお前。
Oh,
Wait.
that was beautiful with the bell.
今日のところは本来で勘弁してやるたい。
What? Oh. Oh.
ありがとう。
何が起きたのか俺には分かってなかった。でも人が恋に落ちるのに理由も時間も必要ないんだ。
Jeez. Okay. Whoa.
Well,
Oh, all right. Okay.
here we
That
go.
episode felt like it just. Whew.
Yep.
It just went on by. Like I blinked and it happened. Wow.
I love this show.
Oh,
This is
so good.
good.
It's another great episode.
Yep.
We
Okay.
had a full quartet. We had
Two characters introduced.
Yeah, we had two characters introduced. We had Jun, basically the new main character, if you will.
Yeah.
He's a Tokyo U student that used to live here, but he kind of got out and got to the big city, and now he's having like a visit, probably for
Sure.
summer vacation. Of
Right,
sorts.
and he's got a job and all that stuff, and, you know, life has taken him his separate way.
Yep.
But every once in a while, he has to get back together with, you know, the folks and play some jazz.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that was a really cool just thing to see what they could look like if they all practiced together and played together and like started something. So this feels like a tantalizing tease of like,
Yep.
ooh, what could be like the grand finale of the story.
Exactly,
Is them all
yeah.
playing together.
Right, and I love that, you know, even if it's just for, like, the most casual, like, setups of, oh, yeah, we're going to play music together, I guess, right? And we're excited about that. But, you know, it's just us basically jamming together, right?
Yep.
It still gets the awesome visual treatment. So
Oh,
it's just
so
like,
good!
okay. Like, so not only does it, you know, sound fantastic, right? And is it great to see, like, Kaoru's, like, the way that he's changing as a result of, like, listening to the music and getting
Right.
a feel for it and starting
Yeah.
to play it and things like that. But then it also just looks gorgeous and spectacular. So,
Yeah,
awesome.
I would love to know what the technique they use to make the characters like almost look like they're sped up a little bit.
It feels similar to, like, rotoscoping, like what they did for, like, the Chica dance in
Are
Kaguya.
you sure though?
Because,
I
like,
feel like rotoscoping would have not as hard lines though. I feel like
well,
I feel
it's
like
the
rotoscoping would look a little different.
it's the whole thing of, like, you know, you do the rotoscoping, but then you also still try and make sure that it looks like 2D. You
Yeah,
know, so you like do the lines and everything to
Maybe,
kinda
but
blend with it.
I feel like it's something different. I don't know.
It totally
but,
could
but
be,
I
yeah.
would love to know from people like in the fan base and stuff like that. Let us know what the technique is used for
Yeah.
the stuff when they do music and things like that. If it's just basic, simple 2D animation, you know,
But then just like really high frame rate or just you know done really well.
I would be very surprised, but I also think there's some kind of extra technique to it.
Yeah.
But maybe it is rotoscoping. So okay, he's now comfortable with just improv, being silly
Yep.
and not having any kind of, you know, complicated structure to it.
Right.
That's a big step for him as a character. We're talking about Kaoru here.
Mm.
But then the idea that when he then gets to actually perform it a little bit, he got positive reinforcement from the stranger
Right.
about doing it, which is, I would say, a really big deal, because there's no there's no partiality in the weight of his assessment. Basically, he doesn't think of him as any special compared to someone like Sentaro or Richan, basically.
Right, because
So,
they have a connection, so there's sort of the, assumed, at the very least, politeness, maybe.
Sure.
Right, or the desire to be encouraging rather than just giving feedback on what they observed.
Right,
Yeah.
or a way it could be theoretically misinterpreted in some way.
Sure.
So I really liked that was just quickly addressed, because we're in a one-course show, and then also makes the offer of, do you want to come practice here? You want to play more? It's just a really simple request, but I just love that it came again from the stranger, because it's a quick way to establish his character a little bit more. One, that he has no qualms about this new guy, who he has no connection with outside of just, he plays piano, and he's good enough at piano to be able to do some basic stuff that fits in without, being stuck in his old flow,
exactly. It's something where he could see Kaoru basically being a positive addition to the team, right?
Right. Even though he was awkward at the beginning part there.
Exactly. So it's
both
both
really cool for him. Yeah.
Right. It's the being both accepting, but at the same time recognizing the potential value, right? Even if it wasn't he didn't completely blow them away right out the gate.
Right.
Yeah.
But we had some surprising little twists here. So first off, he gets to invite Richan on a little hangout, which gets completely thrown into the water when Sentaro busts in and is like, no.
We're going to the ocean.
Let's go to the ocean and let's rent a boat and just hang out. Hey.
Awesome.
That's way better than what you had planned, my dude.
Yep.
But yeah, he's there, but he wants to spend time with all of you.
Right.
And I think you might be on the cusp of learning something unique about him because of that setup with the whole church and the stuff that Richan almost dropped info-wise about how the pastor or clergyman or whatever thinks of him as special, so he wears a very, very Catholic-looking cross. And I think we confirmed that it is a very, maybe a little bit more of a traditional kind of church, in that not only does he wear a cross with beads and shit, she sometimes wears a rosary, which is that's
and what is a rosary again? I forget.
That's something for correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it has something to do with Mary.
I believe so.
I want to say, but I know it's just more of a Catholic thing.
Right. And and one of the things that was I thought was interesting about this is I'm not sure how much of what we saw here was just that's Catholic Church stuff, or that's specifically I
think it's more personal
or personal stuff, and but also with the veils and things. If that's something where it's particular religion overlapping with particular culture, right? Of how things are maybe done differently within a certain culture.
That's definitely the case. But Christianity is a pretty widespread religion in that way. To the point that there's 10,000 versions of it or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the idea though that he kind of spied them doing something that they didn't want to involve him in, it was kind of a thing of where she's meet us at this time, and then he's early, sees them in the church, basically. And she basically is I want to spend time with you as much as possible. So immediately after church ends, just meet us there. And maybe there's a little bit of the town culture thing of where it's you can show up 5 minutes late, that's no big deal. But showing up maybe 10, 15 minutes early and seeing them in their service, and seeing her with the veil, seeing Sentaro kind of being giving that little bit of an elbow thing of hey, take this seriously,
Right.
And he's okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll stop sleeping, in the service, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe maybe she's trying to like, you know, convert him in some way, and that's a part of his like aspect of being like the delinquent who maybe is also a bit of a lost boy and needs to be saved, you know.
And yet the fact that he has the actual crucifix that he wears when they're not at church,
right,
like communicates something very different to me. Like it almost feels like it might be something where he's doing it, but not necessarily for himself, like because he still wears the crucifix outside of the church, right? So it's not necessarily for like the church people, right? No. Like because he was sleeping in the service, right? He doesn't necessarily care about what they think, but that like maybe it might be for her. It might be for her. It might be for like. It might be for like the family that he doesn't have anymore.
Sure.
You know, like it's something where
maybe he's got some kind of prayer or what have you.
Yeah, or like his like, you know, we don't know where his parents are really, but maybe one of his parents or both of them were Catholic, and you know, if they like died or something happened or whatever, this is his way of trying to still like stay close to them, and hence like the crucifix and stuff. But he doesn't really care about it specifically himself, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
I don't know, but
yeah, it's
a nice contradiction.
I got some weird like leaps of logic on this, but I think I'm gonna hold back on them because I feel like this is a show that's delightfully, I would say, paced for like giving the drama, but also just emotionally investing us in the characters.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like this is the kind of story that would
lean too heavily into plot stuff.
Lean too heavily into more I would call soapy drama, because I have a really soapy drama theory, and it's with the idea of fathers, because we now have many instances and iterations of fathers in this story that are quite unique, because a clergyman is sometimes referred to as father, in a more traditional kind of like not like
father so and so,
church settings and stuff like that. Yeah, but also, you know, they sometimes refer to, you know, God in cases as a father as well. So then we have Mukai's father. We have whoever, you know the notably absent family would be that Sentaro or Kabuchi has, that that's not been brought up. We've never seen his place yet, so we have some mysteries in that regard, even though the show isn't focusing on them.
Right.
My brain notices the fact that we're showing other families, but we're specifically not showing Sentaro's.
Yeah. So,
and yet we're seeing how much this show revolves around family, really. So,
mind if I go into like a particular vein of thought?
Yeah, go for it.
So, with this structure of a story, and with some of the things that the OP and ED, it feels like to me they're hinting at, is the idea of separation, right? Of basically, it's this wonderful thing that they've been brought together like this,
but it's only for a time.
But it's only for a time, right?
Sure.
Whether it's because Kaoru is going to have to move again, right, and that's going to suck, or because like, you know, something's going to take you know, Sentaro away, right?
Sure.
Or something, right? Like something will happen that will basically bring pain into the happiness, right? It's the sunshine cannot last forever, right? Yeah, limiter. In using this as relating this to other stories that follow this kind of structure, you have the person who has the personal issue that comes in and then meets someone who turns their world around, but they cannot have that person be around forever.
Because they have to learn how to do it themselves.
They have to learn how to do it themselves. And oftentimes that's taken into the realm of, then they must tragically die, right? Manic pixie dream girl that then dies for all our sins and whatnot, and blah, 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 and, you know.
God, please.
Right. And I don't think that's what's going to happen here. But with some of we had something in here where specifically the pastor apparently sees Sentaro as being different than just regular people.
And which is kind of cringe, actually.
Yeah.
Like
right.
It's like one of the creepy things about the church at times is that you get this like, there's a special thing about you, and you're like, explain.
Right.
No, I will not explain. I'm just trying to manipulate you.
And like that gives me the vibe. If not
Could
for
be
the fact
completely
that
wholesome though.
yeah, it totally could be. But like if it wasn't for Sentaro being the kind of person that he seemed to be so far,
sure,
I would think it's something where it's like Sentaro is actually wanting to go into the clergy at some point, you know, and like and like
twist.
And maybe this is him like you know, sort of living wild and being free in the music and stuff like that before he then has to like go put on the robes and stuff and go to some like, you know, crazy seminary school or something, you know. Right? Like but you know, I don't think that would necessarily happen unless maybe there was some kind of like, yes, my father wanted this for me and he's not around anymore or something like that, you know.
Possibly, okay.
I don't know, but like I'm looking for a way that basically the happiness that is being established here will end up being broken, right?
Okay, so far they're dealing with crushes.
Yeah, they're dealing with crushes and then family drama.
Kaoru and Richan, there might be something there. We'll see. It's more Kaoru right now. Sentaro just helped a girl and immediately was just like, whoa.
Right.
Like just, whoa. Now, I like that they did this right here because I was getting worried we might go into some kind of triangle nonsense. And I'm like, okay, that might not be the case.
Right.
But we could go into Love Square, where it's that Richan might actually just like Sentaro, and Sentaro likes this other girl.
Well,
and this other girl is just like, oh, okay. And, you know, Kaoru, of course, you know, likes Richan, because she's literally the only girl he's interacted with.
And she's super sweet.
Other than his cousin.
Right, and she's actually accepting of him. Yeah.
Yes. She's sweet and kind, and that's definitely the case here. But I can't help but notice it's just also the fact that she's literally the only girl that's nearby.
Yep.
If this other girl comes into the picture, I would very much like to see the things of where he maybe notices something about her and is like, oh, she's actually way more attractive than Richan or something like that. But I really like the way Richan treats me, or like the way that we get along or something like that.
Yeah, it's opportunities for the situation to get complicated.
Exactly. More characters.
So weirdly enough, when that girl was introduced and we got kind of like his, like Kaoru's like narration kind of about what was going on.
I got a different vibe.
It weirdly enough reminded me of Rakugo.
Yep.
Okay, you got that vibe too? Yeah.
Of like maybe a vibe of Rakugo and a couple other shows, but yes.
But of like the girl that comes in and then all of a sudden, like, this is going to basically spell some form of disaster for their friend group, right? Yeah. Like let's say Sentaro ends up getting really serious about her, and then the way that he gets pulled away is because in a similar way to June, they get married.
He goes to Tokyo.
He goes to Tokyo or whatever, right? You know, he gets some job. Suddenly, you know, like his life takes him in a different direction. Yeah. And then it's this wonderful time that we had that was over all too quickly.
She works at a record label or something like that, and they're like, hey, we really love your music and we'd like to offer you this deal. Will you come please to the US or something?
Right. It's like, just some sort of, you know, like hammer into this situation that, I think that breaks up the routine.
Yeah, I think that's what this is potentially. But the words that he said gave me basically the different vibe of more just that maybe this is the first time Sentaro's actually really loved someone in this way. And felt that. So it's more of the thing of where it's going to be actually really sweet in that he's like, I have no idea what to do. Right. You know? And he's like, Kaoru, you're kind of good looking. Like, you know, like, what should I do here?
Yeah. Why are you asking me? I literally was like the outcast at school, you know.
And he's like, oh yeah, that's a good point. June, you're obviously like tons of girls are into you, right? Or June's like, I am like really into men. Like it's like, damn it, no!
Mukai, you're kind of a girl. Really? Like, thanks, you know. No, what do I do? Yeah.
That would be awesome.
No, but yeah, that's right, because now that I think about it, Sentaro is totally a what's his name from Rakugo. Like that's probably the story that
the connection
that most seems to parallel this one in my mind. Like Rakugo to this one with the main character and so
he even looks like the main character.
Right, exactly.
Damn it! I forgot that
yeah,
was the
it
character
was so
in
long
Manga.
ago
It
that
was
we
so
watched
long
that
ago.
show. But because like the other show that I was like comparing this to, and it didn't really feel like a good comparison, is Your Lie in April, right?
Oh, no,
Because
yeah.
that's similar on a surface level with some of the structure, but much
Black-haired
Glasses,
plays
the piano.
That's basically the
that
only
then-
connection.
that then gets someone who's lively and understands the music that doesn't have to follow a structure, and it's all about feeling it out, and finding your own rhythm,
maybe.
et cetera, right?
Maybe.
But yeah. Like I love this show.
I'm really excited for this one to continue because if they have a quartet of musicians, basically, we have the two girls,
right,
and then we have maybe like a school friend or two. Like,
sure,
that's perfect. That's
but
the
even
cast.
then,
that's all you need. And
like,
then you have like the aunt and the cousin, and then his dad maybe. But then we have seemingly potentially some other stuff with like, the pastor or whatever. I'm
right,
really excited.
Like, the show right now feels like it has potentially a full cast to me because one
the tertiary characters have been set up.
The tertiary characters have been set up, right? We understand kind of the dynamic. Having a solid 2 episodes to understand like kind of the seedings of the major conflicts. Cool. Now let's just see it play out. Awesome.
Yeah, I think this next episode will do a lot to basically spell the full direction for the conflict as well. Because right now this was kind of a bit of an unraveling, if you will, of the not the characters, but basically the boundaries of the story.
Sure.
June kind of represents that aspect of what bridges outside of the town in the same way that Kaoru does. And then Kaoru's father kind of extension does, because the town is the insular kind of, I would say the other character that's just there that basically says that the story will happen here, but there are characters that are going to flit in and out potentially of that boundary. And I feel like that's set up for, like you were saying, that this is eventually a story where they'll have to leave the slope. And they will be the kids on the slope, the kids that were on the slope, but then eventually they'll be the adults that then go out into the world. Yeah.
Also, last thing I have to say from this episode, I loved the bit where they had the 2 different instances of Sentaro needing to basically save somebody, and in the situation with Kaoru, I loved how that was handled. It was really comedic. I was worried at the beginning because it's like, okay, what are they gonna do and all this stuff, but then the fact that he ended up doing
his teeth in, his
yeah,
and he's like, wait, who are you? Are we in class? I swear that had to be a joke about how he didn't recognize him because his tooth was knocked in.
Sure. Like either way, like I loved that whole scene, and I loved how Kaoru did his little like not very helpful but also kind of helpful like things to distractions, splashing them with the water and like running away and stuff. It's like, hey, that worked, like they stopped pinning him, so
there you go.
But
shout out to Richan to not actually pull the knife on the boys.
Yes, that probably would have been a bad unnecessary escalation.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.